Hey man, say man, it's your girl JehNotJay back in the building with another banger, and today we doing a little something different. And I'm not sure if y'all read the title, but before we even get into that, do me a favor and subscribe to this video, as well as like, and y'all could comment throughout. Y'all don't have to comment right now, but comment throughout and let me know what y'all think. So this will be a story time about how I basically converted from Team Jordan, which are like Jordan flights, to retro Jordans. And honestly, I had a lot of requests to do this type of content and to have this kind of video where I speak on what made me get into retros, like what made me have this sneaker collection. And I figured, why not just be transparent after talking to my dad and realizing like I really do have a story behind almost every shoe that I have. I really do have a reason why I did the things that I did. And maybe it'll be interesting and maybe some of y'all will relate to me. So this is me bringing y'all story time. And if y'all like story times from me, please comment and tell me if y'all want to hear more. Anyway, let's get into the story time. So we are about to talk about the true flights. Yes, y'all, the true flights.
What? What are you talking about?
I actually at one point used to wear true flights, Spizikes, 6 rings. I was wearing Team Jordan all the time, actually. So let's go back to 2014, which may seem not even that long ago to some of y'all, but for me, it was literally 10 years ago.
10 years later.
So to think I was basically in middle school on my transition to high school at this point. But I'll never forget, my dad used to always say, if y'all get good grades in school, I'll take y'all shopping. So like good grades would equal shoes or like a new video game. Like he would reward us for having good grades, and I always had good grades. Like merit roll, honor roll, we always had good grades, me and my sister. So I'll never forget, he took me to finish line. We went to finish line, and this was way before like I was truly knowing the differences between the Jordans, which is, again, I'm gonna tell y'all more for sure, but just for the sake of the story time, I'm gonna give y'all just a little bit of background. So my Jordan influence really goes back to a young age. I'm talking like 3, 4. My uncles and even my father used to wear like retro Jordans, you know, like at one point I would see my uncles in all types of Jordans. And my dad, he used to wear Air Maxes real heavy, like 90s, 95s, and it would be like the most insane colorways. And they used to be tough to me. I always liked shoes, but I liked what I liked. It was never like a, oh, I have to wear the OG and this. That never really was a thing for me until about this time. So this story time, I'm not going to say it's the origin, like the first, but it's definitely important to why I am where I am today. Like this story time definitely brought me to where I am today. 2014, I get good grades. My dad take me to finish line, and I'm looking at the wall, and I pick out these true flights. For the ones who don't know what true flights is, these are true flights right here. Can y'all see them? Cool. True flights is basically a Team Jordan. It's not necessarily a retro. However, it's inspired by a retro. And I'll tell you how you know, because you could look at a retro 7 versus a true flight, and they look very similar, but they're not the same, right? So I'll never forget when I got a pair of true flights. This was back when I used to be in a truck fit. I don't know how many people know what truck fit is, but truck fit is actually a brand that was created by Lil Wayne. I used to listen to Lil Wayne very, very heavy. So I catch myself collecting truck fit hats all the time, and I actually got a truck fit hat the exact same day I got the true flights. So I walk in the store, my dad sit down. He was kind of influenced for what I chose, but my dad honestly didn't even know the difference. Like, he would just buy what he liked as well. So when I went into the store, I picked those shoes. I tried them on. I was like, these are the ones I want. And he said, okay. He bought them. Then we went to Dillard's, and I went to Dillard's and got me a truck fit hat to match. And I'll never forget it because I actually wore this outfit on the 4th of July, and then I continued to wear these shoes because I enjoyed them. So before I went to school, I wore these shoes a lot. At the park, I wore them with outfits that my mom bought. I just would wear them all the time because I actually enjoyed these shoes. Like, I didn't see an issue with them. And I'll never forget when I actually went to school, like my middle school. I believe we was on like a break or something. And I go to school, And my boy Ron was like, AOJ, AOJ. Mind y'all, me and Ron was super cool. We met in art. We would just talk every day. We would play Flappy Bird together. I don't know if y'all remember Flappy Bird, but it was a game back then. And like Flow, or whatever, the little Flow game where you gotta, connect the lines and you can't have them overlapping. That's basically how we kind of met, like back in that time. So this was prime time. So anyway, Ron came to me and was telling me basically that they weren't necessarily real. So they were Jordans, but they weren't retros. I didn't know that at the time, though. And in all honesty, like looking back at it, I wish I never let other people determine what I did or what I wear or how I swag. Nothing like that, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I've always been a tomboy. So back then, like Aeropostale, Hollister, that used to be the shit. You used to be wearing the jogging suits from head to toe, the Aeropostale or the Hollister. You had a Hollister jeans with the Hollister t-shirts. Like that's kind of how we dressed back when I was in middle school. So I would have these jogging sets and be wearing my flights and wearing my 6 rings, and I never seen an issue with it. But a lot of kids at my school would bully me for that. All those lame, all J. Reed don't got the real Jordans on. She got fake Jordans on. Ooh, what are those? Like all that. Like they would just be saying all types of things, like just making fun of me. And this was back when, like, I want to say maybe, I don't remember if Vine was a thing at this point. It was between Vine and Musically. I can't recall. But they would be making fun of people for little content. This was before you could make content as long as you could now, for real. This was like probably the peak time of like the Migos. This was when YouTube was popping. You was watching all the good creators on YouTube. Like this was that time. Like YouTube couples was the biggest. It was pranks. We used to watch that type of stuff back when I was in middle school, and people wanted to be them. And I think that impacted me, because over time I would be wearing those Jordans, and back then my shoe collection was way smaller than what it was now. Like I didn't have these many shoes. Like this actually developed over time. But initially I didn't have all these, and I didn't have a lot of retros either. Like I literally only had Team Flights, for real. Even though my dad allowed me to choose, I was choosing what I like. Just like now, I choose what I like. I don't go with everyone else. But going to school every day, getting bullied about what I wore, getting talked about what I look like, talked about my fit, talked about the way I looked in general, I didn't like it. And constantly getting told that my Jordans was fake, constantly like, what are those? Making fun of me, cameras up, like dealing with that all the time. It was frustrating. And when I was in middle school, I only had a Galaxy S1 or whatever, or a Galaxy 1. So I didn't even have like the nicest Galaxy. Like, so kids was coming with like better cameras, talking about me. And ultimately, like, to some people, it's like, at least older people, I hear all the time, like, bullying ain't as bad as what it used to be. Like, but at this point, because the internet was so like big and the internet was becoming such a huge thing, people was going viral overnight, I think that's what made it worse. Because now you seeing yourself on social media. Now you're seeing yourself on other people's pages. Now the pictures of you is getting sent in group chats. And this was back when Kick Messenger was a big thing. So they in Kick group chats making fun of the shoes that I'm wearing, that I also got in the same store they sell the retros in, next to a retro. I didn't get it. So I think ultimately I got defeated. I really did. I got defeated. I still wanted to wear my truck fit. I still wanted to wear my Jordans. So I started doing research, like more research. I always was into shoes. It was always my thing. But at this point, I was like, I want to know. Like, I want to understand. And after doing some research, I started to realize that a lot of Jordans and colorways have reasons why they are the way they are. Because Jordan played at a certain place, or he had this game versus this game. He wore these at that game. Like, once you start to really do some research, you start to realize that some of these Jordans actually have stories behind them, you know? So I think over time, I really started to grow love for them. But middle school me didn't understand why I got so much hate for it. Especially when a lot of things that we acquire was on our parents. The way we look, the clothes we have, the shoes we wear, you know, our hairstyles, everything down to the feet was not something that a middle schooler was buying with their own money.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
It wasn't something that I knew about. And kids at my school used to boast about having designer. Mind you, A lot of kids was still wearing the Aeropostales and the Hollister, but there were those few who was doing extreme. While I'm in Aeropostale and Hollister, they going Gucci. Like, kids was doing what they wanted to do. Basically, it seemed like they was convincing their parents that this was the style, and their parents was just running with it. But I was cool with what I had. That's the crazy thing about this whole thing. I was humble, and I loved that my parents invested their hard-working money on Jordans for me. I didn't care if it was a retro or not at the time until I really started getting bullied. I loved the fact that I had clothes for the school year. I knew kids who couldn't get that. I knew kids who wasn't getting shoes for the school year, who wasn't getting clothes for the school year. Glasses are expensive, so just imagine you thinking that everything is cool. You're happy about the house that you come from, and then you go to school, and it's like everything that you got, it's not enough for them. You don't fit in because of what you look like. And I always been the type of person to be friends with people who was friends with me. I didn't disrespect anyone. I didn't dog anyone. You could like anime and we was cool. Back then, people ain't even consider anime to be a cool thing. But I enjoyed those kind of things. So I was friends with people who would consider lame, geeks, corny. I was along with corny. And I feel like I allow other people to make my mind think that I wasn't enough. So over time, I started to grow a love for sneakers. But it wasn't just because of the bullying, but because I always liked shoes. And I always wanted to know more. I was like a sponge back then. Like, I just wanted to know. Like, I wanted to increase my knowledge on everything. So as soon as I figured out that Jordans had meanings and that colorways make sense, he wore these on this court at this time, like, I really started to grow this love for those. And I just started to look into different Jordans. So every year after that, I would go through the release calendar. And then I would just start, saving screenshots of Jordans that I enjoyed. And that's just kind of the peak of my story, y'all. First of all, I appreciate y'all for listening to my story time. It wasn't super long, but this is just more so what happened. I just wanted to give y'all some insight. And I will be giving more story times. If y'all want to hear more, definitely comment below. But that's truly my experience. I have plenty of stories for plenty of shoes, plenty of things in general. I never done a story time before, so I'm happy that I'm able to bring that to y'all. I'm able to show y'all my passion. But my takeaways from this for the people who are watching, for one, never allow other people to determine what you do or don't do in your life. Period. Because in all honesty, even though other kids was wearing things that I didn't have, I had a good life. I had 2 parents. I had a loving household. I mean, things could have definitely been worse for me, But I was grateful for what I had every day. And regardless of what other kids say, I'm going to continue to be who I am every day. And I just think the more that I grew, the more I started to find who I was. And sneakers just so happen to be a part of that story. So, for y'all who are watching, continue to be you. And the right people will love you for being you. The right people will seek you out for being you. You don't have to be popular, the cool kids, what people consider lame. Because a lot of those quote-unquote lame kids became the best, became the most successful, the smarts, the ones who finished college. Like, those are the kids you actually want to be, the lame ones. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if y'all want to hear more. And I'm definitely going to be giving y'all more story time soon if y'all like it. Peace.
I can see me sitting in the back of a cop car, banging my head on a window. I can see me slamming that last couch shot glass.